Alexis is playing a game. That's what Alexis is doing, because she is making sure she has a strong connection with every man on the show. And she's aligning with everybody's values. And she's just making everybody feel like she is their top connection. But we see what you're doing, Alexis. We see you, girl. But you look like you keeping up a bunch of confusion on the show as well. So Alexis is making sure everybody is her top connection, but at the same time, she is keeping up a bunch of dust and confusion. And girl, they calling you snakes and whatnot. So what is going on, girl? Anyway. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. It is Friday night, so we definitely got to talk about OWN, so Ready to Love. This is season 9, episode 6 in Fort Worth, Texas, y'all. It was titled Closed Mouths Don't Get Fed. Ain't that the truth? Before we get into it, please do not hesitate to hit that thumbs up button, y'all. Subscribe to this channel, please. Support the channel, y'all. I would really appreciate it. It's Black History Month. Support a Black YouTuber, please. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this episode. And also share the video where you like to share your content. Tag me on Twitter at Brandy Yvonne when you share my videos on Twitter, okay? Or X, however you want to call it. Now, let's get into this episode real quick. So, the episode was cool. It was good. It was good. You know, it was good. Wasn't the most exciting episode, but it wasn't like super boring either. All right, so basically we pick up where we left off. We're at the pajama jam at the end, where we have Rasheena and Mika going home or up for elimination. And Rasheena, you are no longer ready to love. Goodbye, girl. I told y'all Rasheena's going home. Okay, remember y'all. If you go to my last video, if you didn't watch it, go on back after you watch this, and remember that I said I think Rasheena's going home based on the way things were edited. To me, it looked like she was going home. Also, she didn't really have no connections. The men weren't really feeling her like that, and I think the men were more attracted to Mika. I don't want to say they were more attracted to Mika, but I think more of them liked Mika also. So anyway, Rasheena went home. She ain't mad, okay? She ain't mad to go home. And I don't think Rasheena's man was there. And LeBron ain't it, okay? So Nephew Tommy lets them know they are officially halfway through the process. I was like, dang, we're already halfway. That's crazy. But here we are. He said this week we're going to focus on the non-negotiables. All right. And then one of the men will be up for elimination. So the first date we see is Rasheena in her cheetah print dress. She look good, girl. I love that bob, that platinum bob on Rasheena. I need that hair, girl. So she's taking Justin on a date. You know, she said Chaz is her top connection, but Justin is a close second. They learned some salsa dancing. Justin was struggling with it at first, but he did catch on. He said the one thing about him and Rasheena, they're going to work together, okay? So they did sit down and talk, and he said she looking good, her cheetah print. And so he asked her about what her non-negotiables were. She said communication. One thing about her is like, you need to speak up, you know, you need to express yourself, like a closed mouth don't get fed, the title of the show. And so he was like, oh, with me, you don't got to worry, my mouth going to be open, I want to be fed. She said she going to feed you. Justin said in his confessional that, you know, he gonna have his mouth wide open when it comes to Rasheena. I said, okay. And so he said, you know, he's opening up more in the process. He's becoming more vulnerable, and he likes that he could talk to Rasheena. He's feeling more open with her. Rasheena appreciates him being more vulnerable, and she feels like now, you know, he's pretty much neck and neck with her top connection. I don't know if I see a spark with Rasheena and Justin. Is that just me? I don't really see it. I don't know. I don't know who on this show I would really see Justin even with. Like, maybe Rasheena, maybe Maya. I don't know. I don't see it yet. I think Justin is a great guy so far. We haven't seen any, you know, glaring red flags yet. But I don't know who I would put him with on this show particularly. Anyway, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Maybe y'all see something I don't see. But other than that, they wasn't talking about nothing, y'all. Anyway, moving on. We see, who was the next day, y'all? It is slipping my mind right now. Alexis. Ooh, child, I almost forgot. Alexis and Chaz. Alexis and Chaz go on the next date. Now, according to Alexis, everybody's her connection. She feel comfortable with everybody. Everybody's aligning with her core values, okay? So she go on a date with Chaz. And she asked him, well, first of all, he said in his confessional he really liked her hair, her halter top, you know, how she was looking, okay? Um, he said he ordered a martini because he wanted to celebrate being out with Alexis. So, Alexis asked him, okay, so hey, how did you feel about the last elimination and the person that was eliminated? Now I'm like, why is she asking him that? So he said, oh yeah, I was really hurt by that. You know, I liked Kosheia and I felt really bad for her. I felt like she had just had a vulnerable moment right before that and was starting to open up. And so he's like, why? How did you feel about it? And she's like, to be honest, I really didn't care. You know, I wasn't here for it anyway. She was like, you know, that's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's it. That's what you get. And so he was like, dang, like, did something happen? And so then she was like, yeah, you know, in the ladies' lounge, you know, we got into it. And, you know, it was a whole situation. And, you know, I just didn't like being put in that situation. I was like, girl, first of all, Alexis, why are you talking to this man about what happened in the lounge? And she was like, yeah, there's some things happening. And he's like, oh, you should have told me. I would have been there to defend you. Jazz, what was you going to do in the ladies' lounge? For Alexis, nothing. So she was like, yeah, I bet you there's going to be more things happening. He's like, well, not, you know, no drama with me and you, right? And so I'm wondering if Chaz was put off by that. I mean, he didn't act like that in the scene, but it looks like the drama is going to continue to unfold when it comes to Alexis based on the previews and the rest of this episode. So I'm just wondering, like, girl, Alexis. Now, I liked Alexis in the beginning. I think we all did, but her behavior is just getting worse and worse, okay? She's a very beautiful girl, okay? You know, light blue eyeshadow's cute, girl. The hair is cute. You cute. But, like, girl, what are you doing? You was over here doing the most on this show that you don't even need to be doing. Like, you over here being a mastermind. And so she felt like her and Chaz, you know, they just had this strong connection. They talked about their non-negotiables because that's the topic for the week. Chaz said his is cheating. He will never cheat. Don't cheat on him. Loyalty is really big. Alexis is like, yes, same for me. Loyalty is very big for me. Communication. Now they're both talking about, oh, we have all the same core values. And Alexis is to say they had all this chemistry. And he was like, yeah, I really like you. He's like, yeah, when I first saw you, I really liked you. I wanted to get at you. And I feel like I had to come harder. And she's like, oh, you could just chase me. And he's like, yeah, Alexis is so beautiful. And she's a Southern Belle. And I was like, Southern Belle where? Like, I don't get Southern Belle from Alexis. Sorry. I don't get it. I don't get it. So he was like, yeah, I'm really connecting with her. I'm really feeling you. You know, I'm going to just call you mine. I'm like, Chaz, you claiming everybody is yours at this point. And Alexis is too, really. Okay? Alexis is playing a game. That's what Alexis is doing because she is making sure she has a strong connection with every man on the show. And she's aligning with everybody's values. And she's just making everybody feel like she is their top connection. But we see what you're doing, Alexis. We see you, girl. But you look like you keeping up a bunch of confusion on the show as well. So Alexis is making sure everybody is her top connection, but at the same time, she is keeping up a bunch of dust and confusion. And girl, they calling you snakes and whatnot. So what is going on, girl? Anyway, their date was cute. She thought the chemistry was so thick and all the romantic tension that he should have kissed her, but he didn't. And she was like, you know, maybe it was a little too much for him because, you know, she's a little aggressive and, you know, he's a gentleman. And so Chad said in his confessional that he wanted to kiss her, but he didn't because he has too many connections on the show. And he don't want to be kissing all of them. Good move, Chaz. Okay, good move. Anyway, moving on. Then we do see a date with Patrice invites Alonzo and William out. She wanted to invite her two top connections out to see if they was going to really fight over her girl. And she also invited Vanessa out. She said those are her three favorite people. Vanessa said that she feels like she's dated Patrice more in this process than anybody else. I'm like, girl, that's not good. So they sat down, you know, Alonzo was struggling. First of all, Alonzo, Patrice, and Vanessa all had on black, and Alonzo didn't. I don't know if that was a setup and a scheme by Todd or what, but so Alonzo was struggling with chopsticks. And so William was like, oh yeah, he ain't gonna be able to eat, he gonna be starving. And so Alonzo said that William was not a threat to him, or, not competition. He said he wasn't trying to, sound cocky, but he just wasn't threatened by him, I guess. So then they somehow got on the topic of sports and basketball, and William was asking about Alonzo, do he play? They gonna hoop it up. He said he used to do that. Yeah, there's a time in his life he used to really do that. Patrice said she gonna outshoot them. Vanessa said she just felt like she was just watching them on the date with Patrice in the middle. She felt neglected from the conversation. But I was like, Vanessa, I need you to jump in, girl. I need you to get in where you fit in. I need you to mix and mingle. I need you to play this game a little bit, okay? Vanessa's not playing the game a little bit enough for me. On this show, y'all, you do need to try to be here with good intentions and be genuine. However, you got to play a little bit of a game as well, okay? That's the only way you're going to stay on the show is you got to play a little bit of a game. You got to work the room, okay? So William asked Vanessa, did she play sports when she was a kid? She's like, no, I didn't. She gives very short sentence answers. I could have been editing though. So somehow they got on the topic of falling in love at first sight, and Alonzo said, it could be possible he can go, he go after what he want if he really wanted. Vanessa says she thinks it's more common for men than women. I want to know why she said that. Alonzo's throwing subliminal hints at Patrice, and producers asked Patrice has she fell in love at first sight with any of the men here. She said she pleaded the fifth. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Alonzo. I think they're going to make it to the end, but I could be wrong. So then they get on the topic of the non-negotiables. Alonzo said he doesn't really have any. He feels like it depends on the person. He could probably handle anything. Patrice is like, that's the easy way out. And you can't handle everything. You just can't, Alonzo. No. There's something you not going to like. I don't remember what Patrice said hers was. Maybe communication or something. I don't know. But Vanessa said communication for sure. And just being upfront, instead of snooping or trying to, figure out information, just asking her directly. William said, someone being understanding and warm-hearted. He said, you don't got to be my piece, but just understanding his situation. He said, he has his 3 sons, and being a father is first to him. And he said, he got on the whole thing about him being adopted, and the girls didn't know. He said his sons were his first biological family. And, he was deployed twice since they've been born, and he really wants to be there in their lives. And another non-negotiable for him is working out. Patrice says she understood the whole thing he's saying about being a father because she's a mother, and that just moved him up for her with her connection to him. And so he did mention working out being, he likes to work out. Fitness is very important to him, so he wants a partner that does the same. I'm with you on that, William. And so Vanessa was concerned about that. Well, Patrice was like, I'll go work out, but you're going to have to get me up out the bed first. And he's like, well, we're supposed to motivate each other anyway. Vanessa said, she's not sure about that because, if he's in the gym all the time, she don't know how he's going to have time to really, take care of the family like that. She thinking long term, okay? So she wasn't really, feeling him for that. So then William turns to Vanessa and was like, by the way, I've been trying to text you 3 times and you ain't been responding. What's going on? And she's like, really? What did you say? So he pulled out his phone. She's like, let me see what number you texted. So he had the number wrong. It was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. And so he's like, damn, my text has been going to the abyss. Patricia's like, girl, tell me later if you did that on purpose. I don't think she did it on purpose. Vanessa said it was clearly a misunderstanding. I don't think she did it on purpose, but she could have. So he was like, dang, because he felt like they had a good connection on the first date. And he's like, well, maybe now that I got the right number, we can, try to get something going again. Vanessa feels like, it might be too late of a start for them to have a real connection. She didn't really look interested anymore. And I would think her and William would be a good fit because they both have kids. I don't know. I don't know what Vanessa's thing is. Girl, do not put all your eggs in the Chaz basket because I don't trust Chaz, okay? And he has not proven himself yet, girl. I know you like him, but you need to move around, Vanessa. You not playing the game right, girl. All right, so then I think the next date we saw was the date with Mika and Dominique. And then at the same time across town, we're also seeing a date with Maya and Justin. I believe that was the next 2 dates. So I feel like I'm missing a date in there somewhere, but maybe not. So let's talk about Dominique and Mika. They wasn't talking about nothing, y'all. I mean, they was really talking about nothing. So they talk about their non-negotiables. Well, first of all, they were at some like coffee shop or something, and Mika said Dominique is really not her type physically, and he's short, but you know, she gonna try to give him a chance because she likes him and he's a nice guy. Like, girl, you could have went home last week too, to be honest, because your man is not here. So anywho, she was liking his whatever he had, and so she wanted the avocado toast. He said he makes a really good avocado toast. She's like, really, what you be putting on yours? He's like, I ain't about to tell the world about my cooking secrets. And so he said he'll text her to her later. I don't know what's the key to making avocado toast. You just put some stuff on the bread, but you know, people got, they different recipes. So then I think this is when they talked about their non-negotiables. And so she said one of hers is someone, who can't laugh and have a good time. If you can't laugh or have a good sense of humor, she don't want it, which I'm with you, girl, on that. But Mika just gets very unserious on this show. She gets very unserious. Dominic said his is someone who is willing, he likes to cook and he wants someone who's willing to cook with him. And so she was like, oh, so you gonna break up somebody that can't cook? She's like, I'm not saying I can't cook though. And then he's like, yeah, so I tell you, like he needs somebody that can help him out in the kitchen. I hear that. And so then they got on the whole topic of her saying she didn't want to have kids anymore. And she was like I said before though, I just haven't found that man that I might have some kids with. And so he was like, yeah, I knew you were, gonna say that. I knew you were feeling that way. And he said, yeah, she's bending on her views. Dominic came out very arrogant a little bit, but I wasn't mad at it. He was just very, very confident in himself. But I don't know, Dominic. If you want to have all these kids, Mika don't look like she's ready to pop them out, so you need to move around also. And so then, I think he asked her about, her strongest connections on the show or right now. She said, she really likes Justin. She's trying to get to know him more. And so then he's like, well, everything you described is me pretty much, that. And so she was like, are you worried about it being, elimination for this week? And I was like, why did she ask him that? But now when we get to the deliberations, it made sense because she did say. And so, and we'll talk about it later in this review. So, he said, no, he not really worried about it. He is, one of the nice, he didn't say he's one of the nicer guys there, but to me is, he said he's a gentleman. He got a little street side to him. Plus he cultured. And so he feels like, basically ain't no competition for him. Basically what he was saying. He felt like he got it in the bag and he was like, yeah, you have a big decision to make and all this stuff. He was talking okay, Mika should just choose him. Okay, Dominique. Now across town, like I said, we see him date with Maya and Justin, right? So Justin was like, Maya's from Mississippi like him. He wanted to get to know the Southern Belle. Everybody a Southern Belle all of a sudden. Okay. So anyway, maybe because I'm a California girl, I don't know. But anywho, he was telling her, he's a middle school teacher. Them kids be bad. They be sexting. They be vaping. They be doing all that. Yes, they do. I was like, Justin, I'm with you. Okay, we could swap some stories because them kids do be doing the most, okay? Anyway, then she was saying how naive she was in middle school and all that. Justin said he's an open book. You can ask him, my non-negotiables, ask him about my past. He's willing to tell it all. He don't care. So she was like, okay, do you have kids? He was like, no. Do you want kids? He does want kids. He feels like, it's time. He's at that point, he's ready to settle down. She feels the same way. And they really connected on that level. And they're kind of joking and laughing. And Maya appreciated the conversation. So he asked her, who are you feeling in the competition right now? Now, I noticed everyone's asking each other that. I'm assuming producers told them all to ask that. Because I was like, they normally don't do that on Ready to Love. And I wouldn't tell nobody. If I was on this show, I'm keeping my cards close to the chest. So she said William is her top connection. He was like, the dude with 3 kids. He was like, dang. I was like, Justin, you tried it. So he's like, well, we're going to have to move William, to the back of the line. I'm going to have to move to the top of your list. So I'm not sure if Maya was feeling Justin like that, to be honest. I really don't know. And notice she didn't mention LaRon. So I don't know. Also, LaRon, why you didn't leave when Kosheia left? If that's your girl. Talking about you wanted her to have you all to herself. Why you didn't leave when Kosheia left? So anyway, I believe the last date we see is the date with Rasheena, Jonathan, and Will. I believe that's the last date we see. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss no other dates, y'all. If I missed a date, let me know in the comments. I don't think I did, though. All right, so the last date we see is with Rasheena, Jonathan, and Will. They go to like a place where you make your own like body butter, but they also doing the healing and the chakras and all that. I'm so sick of this. Sick of the sound baths and the throat chakras. They was doing that on something I was watching yesterday. Anyway, maybe it was Married at First Sight or something. Yeah, it was Married at First Sight. Anywho, speaking of that, if y'all watch Married at First Sight, check out my review for that. It is up now. Watch it after you watch this review. So anyway, they go over there. So the lady is like, you're going to make your own body butter. You put all these different scents in it. But first, we want to make sure we're making it with intention. So we're going to do a sound bath and we're going to open up all our throat chakras. So anywho, they do a sound bath. Now, Jonathan said it was cool. He understand being in the moment. However, it was way too loud. He needed it to go somewhere over there. So they did that. And so Rasheena was like, how about, I put the scents that I think represents y'all's personality and y'all put the scents y'all think represents my personality and mine. And so they did all that. They made the body butter, whatever. So then they got on the topic of non-negotiables. So Will said his is, first of all, you got to love the Lord, okay? He said he loved God. Ain't got to be perfect. He said he should sip some Hennessy, but, you got to have that foundation. I'm with you, Will, okay? I'm with you, Will. You got to have that God foundation, and I might, I'm going to have a sip. I'm going to have a sip tonight, okay? Because it's a 3-day weekend, okay? Y'all got a 3-day weekend, too? Let me know in the comments. So Rasheena said for her, communication, loyalty, don't be lying, don't be having no side chicks, and none of that. Jonathan said that, he don't really like to tell too much too soon. It's hard for him to open up. So he was like, he don't like a woman that smokes cigarettes. Then he started talking about, changing oil and driving around with your car, down to bed. Like, what? So Rasheena didn't like that he was giving very much surface level. Jonathan and his 2-piece shorts that left. And then it was just Will and Rasheena. So Will was like drilling Rasheena. He was like, okay, so when was your last relationship? Have you, how's the process? Well, she asked him how's the process going for him first. And then he asked her, she said, it's new, dating all these different men at one time. And he's like, have you ever tried to do that before? She said she tried to have a hot girl summer about 2 years ago. And that was about it. I was like, okay, girl, you better live your life. And so he was like, okay, so was it 2 years ago, a couple years ago? What was it? She was like, it was 2 years ago, it's a couple. So then he was like, okay, let me ask you this. When you dating a man, what do you feel like, how would you support that man? And what is your purpose and all this stuff? I was like, what? And so he was drilling her basically. And so she was answering and she was like, all right, if I'm going to be there for the guy, she going to support him. And she just felt like he was drilling her. She didn't really like that. It made her uncomfortable. He do come on like too strong or something. And so then he asked her, who was his least connection in the show? Why are we asking all these questions? So she said LeBron, but she also said in the confessional that she ain't feeling Will either. Okay, we already knew that. So that was all the dates, y'all. So then we get to the ladies' lounge. Now Alexis let us know in the confessional that she, already know going in there it's about to be some catty school drama, and she not here for that, but she gonna stand her own and do what she got to do like she did 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh girl, I can't, Alexis. Like, girl, just stick to the dating and being ready for love. Like, what is you doing? So they get down to the deliberations. Nephew Tommy asked him about their non-negotiables. He making his stupid jokes. So ask Amika where her pajamas at. So then he asked them about all their dates. So the ladies talk about their dates. Sure, he talks about her date with William and Alonzo. She said Alonzo's too silly sometimes, so she can't tell like who's the more solid connection. She thinks it's William right now. Vanessa says she felt like she was just sitting there watching them on the date. Maya talked about her date with Justin. Alexis started talking about her date with Chaz and how she wanted to kiss him, but he's a bit more reserved. Now Vanessa was looking like, girl, you lying. And so then Mika in her confession was like, girl, almost doesn't count. Like, because, Alexis said she almost kissed him. And she's like, girl, almost doesn't count. Like, that's your problem. You want to steady tell business and all this stuff. I was like, ooh, Mika finna do all of Roshia's work now that Roshia gone. So then, all the ladies are talking about their dates, how they went. Mika said she went on a date with Dominique. It was cool. It was just all right. But she said she feels like he only hits her up when it's time for elimination. And so she's like, why you not hit me up other times? And so I think that was pretty much it. So then next time he's like, okay, who you not feeling? So Vanessa doesn't like William. She's not feeling, some of his non-negotiables. Mika gets a fair invite from him, and Rasheena gets a fair invite from him. Rasheena doesn't like Will. He was coming off a little too much. Also his living situation, and a couple of other ladies didn't like Will as well. They also don't like Jonathan. Alexis says she felt very uncomfortable with Jonathan, and then plus, trying to dig into his life with the whole, ex-girlfriend and stuff, it was a little bit too much, and the wife and all that. She said he did apologize to her about what happened at the party, which I was glad to hear that. And he apologized again later on camera. I was very happy about that. I think he truly was sorry, though. He shouldn't have done it, though. I'm not making it, not excusing it in any way, but I'm just glad he apologized. Patrice said Will, she's not feeling Will because, he was over there asking her, interrogating her about who said he slept on the floor, on the pallet in the house. And she was like, he's coming at me, asking me all these questions. She didn't like all that. And she turned to Alexis and she was like, I get you want to, support this brother. You want to, help him out. And that's wonderful. But, I thought what happens in the lounge stays in the lounge. And you going all outside telling him this stuff. And the only way he would know I was the one that said it is if you told him. So Alexis is like, I didn't tell him anything. He did some deductive reasoning and figured it out himself. And so Mika's like, we learned from the last lounge, like, girl, you over here telling him you are feeding him all this information, girl, everything that happens in the lounge, you're feeding him the information. It was you. And so the girls are arguing, going back and forth. Alexis is saying that she feels like she's being bullied and she doesn't feel like it's fair that she should take the heat for what Will's doing. She's like, I can't control how Will reacts. And if he don't like you and he don't like you, he's going to, react in a certain way that has nothing to do with me. Now, so Nephew Tommy said he sees what you saying. He see what you saying. He see what you saying. But like I said, everybody's process is different. And when we start mixing them, that's when we get to trouble. Now, my thing is this. Now, they didn't, on camera, we didn't see Alexis directly tell Will, Patrice said, you be sleeping on the floor of the pallet. Do I think that Alexis told Will that? Yes. I can bet all my money on it. Okay. We know she probably did. Now, did he go around and do his own deductive reasoning, as she said? Yeah, but he also knew who he talked about it to. So I felt like he didn't even need to do all that because he already knew who he had the conversation with. He knew you had the conversation with Patrice. So whether Alexis told him or didn't tell him, it doesn't really matter because he knew he had the conversation with Patrice anyway. However, Alexis, girl, you are running till that when it comes to the ladies' lounge, you go run into Will. So that's what you are doing, girl. So don't try to play it like, oh, they're ganging up on me. Oh, my God. Like, Alexis, you're giving very much throw a rock and hide your hand. Like, oh, I don't know why they're all mad at me. I don't understand. Like, girl, what? Anyway, Nephew Tommy pulls out his baseball. He's like, what is this? They're like a baseball. He got a curveball. I knew he was going to have a curveball this episode. I knew it. So he said, we're going to send two. Y'all pick 3 men. We're going to send 2 of them home. So you're going to take all 3 on a date and we're going to send 2 home. I knew 2 men were going home this week. I knew it. Now, the reason why I felt that way is because I think all the stuff for production had going on with Jonathan and Will being off-putting to the ladies, along with a Lamar, but they already got rid of Lamar. I had a feeling that they were going to hurry up and get rid of them because this was not going to be good luck for Ready to Love. Already we've had too many issues, too many scandals. We have one every season. I feel like this was production's way of getting rid of Will and Jonathan is what I felt. And they needed to go anyway, right? They needed to go. It was time. So Alexis is taking out Jonathan. Vanessa is taking out Will. And Maya is taking out William to let them know if they're ready to love or not. So Vanessa's telling Will that, he's looking a little nervous and all that. And so all the ladies are saying, we deliberated in the ladies' lounge. Maya tells William, like, some of the ladies are not really feeling your non-negotiables and they're getting like a homie vibe from you. And he said, he understands he's not used to dating multiple women at a time. And he did kind of make it clear who he liked. And so she's like, yeah, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Now, I felt like William should not be in the bottom three because I feel like he's one of the more decent men on the show. But he tweeted me back when I said that, and he said, well, it made sense because he only had like 2 ladies he liked at the time on the show, and so that's the reason why. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, and that was cool. He took accountability, and he didn't owe me no explanation. So that's why. Okay, so I'm assuming that is Maya and Patrice, but I didn't ask him. So anyway, Vanessa tells Will, like, you know, some of the ladies are feeling like you could be coming on a bit strong, and then they don't like all the like outside noise and chatter. She used the same phrase he did when he was talking about Kosheia. I thought that was hilarious. And so, you know, all the stuff you be saying on the outside. And so Vanessa, something Will said about, you know, Alexis feeding him information and all this stuff. And he said, you know, she gonna look out for him if they saying stuff because they homies and all this, I guess. And then something about he don't be talking to the ones, he don't be feeling like that. I'm like, Will, where are you at right now, sir? Anyway, and then we had Alexis talking to Jonathan. Jonathan apologized. He said after the pajama party, he already knew what this date was going to be about. He did apologize again to her about what happened, and he didn't mean to hurt her feelings. She says water under the bridge now. He said a lot of the ladies feel like, you know, you're not opening up, you're being closed off. He said that the reason why he doesn't open up is because he feels like, you know, you tell somebody all this, you know, deep stuff about you, and then you guys break up, and then he feels like, dang, why did I tell you all this stuff? I understand that, Jonathan, because sometimes I feel that way too. But, you know, we got to be vulnerable. We got to be ready to open up. And I think you got to open up to the right people. You don't got to tell everybody everything. You just give them a little something, okay? You give a little something at a time until things are secure, right? That's what you could do. Anyway, so then they're like, you know, okay, so, you know, ladies all met up. We all deliberated. And I believe Vanessa let Will know first that you are not ready to love, right? And so he said, you know, he understands. He said he's happy he did it. He didn't feel bad or have any regrets. He did something he wouldn't normally do. I like the way he took it. I really liked Will's response to being eliminated from the show. So then they did all this, like, you know, dramatic thing for William and Jonathan. I was like, y'all better not do a cliffhanger because we already know it's Jonathan and Will going home. Do not do a cliffhanger. So William was told he was ready to love. He almost dang near had a heart attack right there. And so Maya let him know he is still ready to love. He said this is like second time in elimination, so he know he got to do more. And then Alexis let Jonathan know that he is not ready to love, and he took it well as well. She started crying, and she's like, it's really hard to tell you that. And he's like, oh, don't worry, it's okay. And he said, you know, he learned from the process, and he's going to continue to, you know, try to grow and improve himself and all that. And that's good for you, Jonathan. We don't know what all you had going on, but good day, sir. So bye, Jonathan and Will. Finally, Jonathan and Will are off the show. Okay, next week we see Lexus about to get into it, y'all. Yeah, it's about to be a mess, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I am going to review Bold and Bougie. I'll try to do it tonight. And also, I will try to get to Love is Blind sometime during this 3-day weekend. And check out the Love and Marriage DC review, which will probably be tomorrow or Sunday. So we got some stuff coming up, y'all. I'm trying to get fully back into the swing of things with YouTube, y'all. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.